Have you ever walked out of a store, only to realize later you might have accidentally put something in your bag that was not paid for? Or perhaps you have observed someone appearing to slip an item into their pocket quickly. These common experiences touch upon an important legal concept that is often misunderstood. Legally, shoplifting is generally defined as the unauthorized taking of merchandise from a retail establishment with the specific intent to deprive the owner of its possession permanently, without paying for it. This direct answer highlights the core components that distinguish shoplifting from other forms of theft. It is not just about physically taking an item. It is about the deliberate purpose behind that action. The reason this definition is so precise lies in its elements. First, unauthorized taking means the item was removed without the store owner's permission. This can involve physically carrying it out, concealing it, or even altering price tags to pay less than the true value. Second, the item must be merchandise from a retail establishment, clearly distinguishing it from taking personal property or items from a private residence. Crucially, the third element is the specific intent to deprive the owner permanently. This means the person intended to keep the item for good, without paying, and not just temporarily borrow it or accidentally forget to pay. This mental state is what transforms a simple act of possession into a criminal offense. Without proving this intent, a shoplifting charge can be much harder to sustain. To understand how this applies in real life, consider a few scenarios. If you pick up an item, get distracted, and walk out, realizing your mistake immediately and returning to pay, that is typically not shoplifting because the intent to permanently deprive was not present. However, if you carefully conceal an item in your bag, walk past all points of sale, and attempt to leave the store, that action strongly suggests the necessary intent. Law enforcement officers and prosecutors look for evidence of this intent, which might include surveillance footage, witness statements, or the manner in which the item was concealed or handled. Understanding these elements is incredibly important because they form the basis of any potential defense. It is worth noting that shoplifting charges can vary significantly based on the value of the merchandise involved. For instance, taking an item worth $50 might be considered a misdemeanor, while taking an item valued at $1,000 or more could elevate the charge to a felony. Additionally, some jurisdictions consider acts like switching price tags between items or emptying merchandise from its original container into a cheaper one as forms of shoplifting, because they demonstrate that same intent to fraudulently obtain goods at a lower cost. These nuanced details show that the act is not always as straightforward as simply walking out with an unpaid item. In essence, shoplifting is a specific type of theft offense that focuses on the deliberate act of taking retail goods with the clear intention of not paying for them. Recognizing the distinction between an accidental oversight and a purposeful act, particularly the element of intent, is fundamental to understanding this legal definition. Knowing these core principles empowers you to better comprehend your rights and potential legal situations, should you ever encounter them.